Hey, Mr. Lewis, good morning, sir. It's Justin Wright calling from Navy Yard. Jesus just woke me up and told me, he said, I'd like to give Michael Lewis a call. Say, there's a great change that occurred here. When this first started, it was the coolest thing, to do this thing. Now I feel like I'm satisfied with, sort of the restoration of, for people to understand the story better now. So now when he wakes me up, I'm put off. All I really want at this point is to fucking sleep. Anyway, you want me to mention that? He says, maybe we shouldn't say that. Your daughter passed. I'm so sorry to hear that, sir. It was some years ago. I understand she was in a car accident. She was very young, and I can't think of anything more tragic for. They say there's nothing worse. I didn't know we were going to bring this up. They say there's nothing worse than a parent watching their child die. What I could say in some consolation is there's no consolation for that. C.S. Lewis wrote a book, a 45-page book called A Grief Observed. He married this woman he loved, Joy Davidman, and she dies 2 years later. And so he writes down his thoughts. He says, my mad midnight moments, this is a defense. I write this book as a defense against insanity. And he says, I tell you what, I hate it when people come up to me and say something about her. I'm sorry for your loss. And then I tell you the truth, I can't stand it when they don't say something about it. There's no, He says, I much prefer my students who walk up to me, they say they're sorry, and they edge away as fast as you possibly can. At any rate, I'm so sorry, sir. There's nothing that can be said for that. I've only read a couple of your books. Big Short was obviously wonderful. Boomerang was even... obviously it's very hard to follow up on Big Short, but a limited time here, less than a minute. So there was a scene in your book Boomerang where you're traveling to the monastery. I think it was in Greece, man. And you're on a boat. You have to get there by boat or something, and you're looking for somebody. You're not in your element there. That's not your play. That's not your wheelhouse. So you see a young man. He said, "Hey, so do you think they'll let me in?" to talk with one of the priests there, who it appeared without question, although they might be Orthodox and not even, it would sound like a shakedown over there. But he says, well, do you believe in the Lord or something like that? And you're an honest man. You said, no. And I can't remember what he told you, but he got you a good laugh. I'm out of time, but he must have said something like, well, buddy, getting into this monastery it's the least of your problems. I'm out of time, sir. It'd be a pleasure to talk with you again someday. God bless.